Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today's episode is called Life Unfolding. You may or may not have noticed, if you listen to this regularly, that there was an episode missing on Friday. And that was because I really wasn't very well at all. I started feeling poorly on Thursday afternoon, and I don't really know what was wrong with me, but it was not good. I just felt very shaky and jittery and freezing. Like I went to bed on Friday night wearing all my clothes and a quilt and 2 blankets, and I was still cold. I couldn't get warm at all. It was really bizarre. Friday, I still felt ropey, shall we say, quite sick. Not really sure what it was at all. I feel okay now. Still a bit wobbly. I think when you've not eaten very much for a few days, you do feel a bit wobbly, don't you? But that was my bank holiday scuppered, really. So generally on a bank holiday, I would be out and about doing lots of walking and being out and about doing things. And we did bits and pieces of things, but I couldn't do much without feeling quite weak and wobbly. So we didn't do very much at all, really. We managed a walk on Sunday, just pottered around Golden Acre Park, which it's not a very long walk. I don't even think it's a mile around the lake. And then I sat and watched a swing band, actually. That was quite nice. So I'd had all sorts of things that I really wanted to get done over the weekend. I was going to spend a little bit of time. I like to wake up early in the mornings and do a little bit of writing, maybe, posts for social media and other bits and pieces, or just kind of planning and pondering. I guess not really planning, pondering what might be coming next in my business, or what I might want to put out there, or what I might want to say. And I'd had in my head that that's what I would be doing over the weekend, and that I'd also be doing more things going out and about in the lovely weather that, of course, we've had, very fortunately. But none of that happened. None of the weekend that I had planned happened. And then yesterday I was feeling a little bit better and thought, oh, do you know what? We'll get out for a walk today, a decent walk. And my daughter materialised, as she does at the moment. She's home at the moment, and wanted some help with sorting through her stuff, of which she perhaps owns a little more than is helpful. At one point we had all the clothes piled up on the sofa and there wasn't anywhere to sit, really. So I helped, and she's got a shoulder injury. She's hurt a shoulder, so she's a bit of a one-armed bandit at the moment. So I helped her to sort out her clothes, which was not at all what I had planned. Now, what I've seen around this, the fact that life is unfolding, there's not that much that we've really got control over. And life is, when it's unfolding, if you think about like a really badly folded piece of paper, let's say, and how, you're not going to know what you're really going to find as you unfold each bit. Or maybe it's like that game. Has anybody played that game where you make a little thing out of a piece of paper and then you count and you open it backwards and forwards? You know the one I mean. Hopefully somebody knows what I mean. That you never really know what you're going to get or which flap you're going to lift up and what's going to be there. That's life, folks. Like, I'm really sorry if you think that life is supposed to be a straight line where you do this and this and this and this, and then yippee-doo, it's all wonderful and marvellous. And way hey. It isn't like that, is it, life? I mean, Sydney Banks says, and I share this often, life is a contact sport. Life is happening. Byron Katie says, life is happening for us, not to us. We just can't always see it in the moment, can we? That life's just working out exactly as it's supposed to. But what we experience as that is happening is created by us. And that, as I'm saying that, it feels really powerful, because if we are in this place of resistance all the time to life, where we think life is supposed to be like this, it's supposed to be a straight line, and I'm supposed to be able to keep myself on this straight line all the time. And when it goes off, then I can just go into a pit of despair and feel terrible and suffer awfully. And that's how life is. When life's good, I'm going to feel good. And when it's not doing what I want it to do, I'm going to feel dreadful. That's a pretty rubbish way to live your life. However, as I'm saying that, I'm thinking, well, a lot of people are living their lives that way. And me too sometimes. But when we see that life is happening, and it is our thinking about that life that creates our experience of that life, and that if we are suffering life, if we're having a suffering-filled life, then it's not life that's making us suffer. It's because we're resisting it. It's like life is doing its thing here, and then there's us creating a straight line. So if you imagine life is a wiggly line, and we've got a straight line here, and we're trying to make this wiggly line be straight, then this is what you're feeling. It's that hitting that. Like, I used to do it like a friction thing, but actually it feels more like it's almost like here's a roller coaster, and then here's something trying to bash the roller coaster to be in a straight line. And that is creating a really quite awful experience of life, because life is a roller coaster. It just is. You can't look around you and go, no, it's supposed to be a straight line. You find me anybody who's got a straight line life. They might look like they do on social media, folks, but let me tell you a secret. It's not true. They're not having a straight line life. They're just sharing the straight lines with you. The gurus that you follow that seem to have had a straight line life, it's not true. They haven't had a straight line life. It just looks like that because the bits they share with you look all nice and tidy. Life is not nice and tidy. It isn't. It's a mess. Yay! But it's a marvellous mess. It's more marvellous when you accept that it is. People are not going to behave how you want them to behave. Situations are not going to be how you want them to be. Your circumstances are not going to always be how you want your circumstances to be. And you can either be trying to force that to do that. This is doing this, and you're trying to make it do that. You're trying to straighten a wiggly line with your hand, literally. Or you can accept this is it. This is life. It's a wiggly line. It's not. It's unfolding. It's not straight. But there is so much suffering that we experience when we're trying to make life be something that it isn't. And that doesn't mean, I'm not saying don't have preferences. My preference would have been to do different things this weekend, to be doing things rather than not doing things. But do you know what? I kind of just think I've had a really good rest. I've slept a lot. I've slept so much, like a baby. And that's okay. It's okay that I've not done the things I thought I wanted to do. Excuse me. If they're meant to get done, they'll get done, won't they? At some point. Don't fight it. It's the fighting it that's creating the horrible feelings that you have. Whether that's against other people being how they are, and that's a big thing that's really been like slapping me in the face over the weekend, other people's behaviour, and them not behaving how I'd like them to behave. That's kind of my thing, where I get caught up. But even they are perfect. It's me wanting them to be something else that's creating the suffering. Don't know why I'm so emotional. Because I am a lot, as you've probably noticed on these sessions. I am often, I am often emotional, which is fine. That's part of my life unfolding. So just notice it's that thing where we say, if this was more like this, I would be okay. If this person was more like Y rather than being like A, I would be okay. Why aren't they more like that? Why are they not more how I want them to be? Well, they're just not. And you can accept them as they are, or you can have a horrible experience. It's that simple. And what happens when we see it is that there is a natural resetting back to calm. Like when I see that my ranting about somebody else and how they're behaving is making me feel rubbish, it suddenly doesn't make sense to carry on ranting. It really doesn't. It makes sense to go, oh, let's just not talk about this anymore, because I'm generally ranting with my other half. We rant about the same people. So, yeah. Life is unfolding. You can enjoy it and accept it. And that doesn't mean I'm not being inhumane here. If you're upset about something, that's perfectly fine. But be clear about where that's coming from. Only from one place. Thought in the moment, all the time. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.